So, last session, this group of ne'er-do-wells who met in the small village of Bitterwood. You all were chased out of town after dealing with the local necromancer, meeting him and having him kill a group of paladins and holy individuals from the Empire of Glass far out to the east. You were chased out of town by boat, and there you rode for about 2 hours down the freezing waterways, went on to land, ditched your boats, and made your way southwest towards the ruins of Cardinal. During this journey, you were cold and saw many interesting sights, having to rest twice. You saw strange Arctic foxes that seemed to have a cold snap into their uh, bites. Additionally, you also, on the second night, found a humble home where you found three individuals, a father and his two sons, who were cold and hungry. And while you took shelter, you took interest in their story and figuring out why things were not adding up. And eventually, over the course of a lengthy interrogation, you were all able to discover it that these individuals were not alive. They had been dead for some time, having been uh, puppeteered by a strange, evil, goat like entity that had taken refuge in their goat shed. Their real forms, not these ghostly visages that they had become, were frozen, malformed oddities that zombie like charged at you as you did battle with the goat fiend. And in the end, you were all victorious, even though it was a very dangerous battle. You all leveled up to level 3, and that's where we last left off, is post-battle with the cold hunger. As you all find yourselves in the dead of night, the wind whipping all around the space, the illusion that the strange goat creature had placed over the entirety of this humble farm has faded. You can now see the house is in ruins. All of the windows are broken, and the ceiling has collapsed in many spots. These people have likely been dead for many years, um, and are merely a trap set by this entity to lure people into a warm space only to freeze them and starve them. But yeah, that's where we begin the session today. Free
Um,
real estate for sure.
it's
I
a bit of a
don't think
fixer-upper.
we want to live here.
It's a little close to where we ran from.
What do you
Yeah.
mean you don't want to live here?
It's just a bit too convenient, and that makes it inconvenient.
And let's be real, how many rooms do they really have?
Not enough.
It is a decently sized lot. You know, the room, the building itself is, it's about 70 feet wide. Has enough space upstairs in this kind of larger loft to have four individual rooms. One
Maybe we'll
restroom.
circle back when we're not wanted
Yeah.
fugitives.
And maybe when we're more interested as a group in getting real estate together.
Yeah, we haven't reached that yet. We barely don't want to
Not,
kill each other.
yeah. We're getting there. We're on our way. I'm curious. Can I tell if this goat creature is safe to eat?
Make a survival check or medicine check. Either or would do.
I'll since I can give you advantage on a medicine check.
I can do medicine. I have the same bonus and both. So am I doing medicine with advantage?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. 21.
21. This creature, looking it over, it's not natural by any means. Um, just merely, putting objects onto the blood, you realize that this thing is covered in cold energy. In fact, you believe that its blood has freezing properties. Thus, you believe that eating it would be like consuming nitrogen, liquefied nitrogen.
Well, bad news. We can't eat it. Good news. I think its blood will freeze stuff. I don't have anything to collect the blood with, so.
I don't either. No?
Oh,
Oh,
jars.
jars.
So you wish to use the jars to salvage stuff from this? Okay.
Two jars of freezing blood.
Go ahead and roll me a survival check to try and, or a medicine actually as well, to try and actually gather the materials. 19. Okay. You're able to get the 2 jars and fill them with the strange blood. These essentially would act as a type of weapon dip. So if you wanted to add cold damage to a weapon, you could do that. Each of them would probably have about. Let me do a cheeky little roll here.
How much blood does a goat have?
Usable blood that's not seeping into the ground. One of the jars has 7 uses for a minute at a time. The other one has 5.
I don't want it. If I'm in melee, I'm already fucked.
It
I'll take
doesn't
the
have to
other.
be a dip for melee. It could be a dip for a ranged weapon.
I'll take it.
Not worth it.
Jar of freezing goat's blood.
Um, you could just write jar of cold hunger blood. Or cold poison, you could put. Actually, that would work. That's essentially what it is.
POV, you're fighting a kobold in a lab coat, and he dips his scalpel in cursed blood.
Terrifying.
Definitely a malpractice charge.
All right. And how many uses is in this one?
One has 7, one has 5.
All right. I'll take the 5 one. And it lasts for a minute after you use it.
Yes. And I'd say just to allow, make it easier for you all to use, I'll allow as a bonus action to dip an item in, so you can, not waste an action or anything like that.
Now, when you say strange colored liquid, Doctor, what kind of liquid are you talking about?
In what strange color? Because that's important. Disgusting, thank you.
Bad colors, not what I wanted you to say. Fantastic.
Um,
uh,
who has the highest passive
I'm
perception?
I do.
Uh,
probably
Google
not
and I
me. I've
die
got
at
a
16.
12.
I have 16 as well.
Okay. Um, I'd say 15 and up. Um, you all hear sounds deeper in the woods, um, branches cracking, um, you know, the sounds of things moving, and you do spot what looks to be a grouping of a strange looking deer, like kind of pushes its head around a tree and like makes eye contact with one of you.
I don't like animals that make eye contact. We should leave.
You hear more rustling, and you see another one kind of
I-
pops its head around the other side of the tree, and you begin to note that there's right now you're able to tell that there's around 4 or so somewhere in the woods.
We should go.
Can any of us? Does any of us know what animal this is?
You can make a nature or arcana check.
Ooh.
I'll make an arcana. Interesting.
I'll do
Okay.
a nature.
I don't know
Um,
shit.
Bonnie
Oh,
is the only one to know what these are. You would guess that the reason they are here is due to the illusion magic that was being cast over the space, because these are Kadir. They are strange entities. Folks say that they were once humans. An old forest goddess cursed them for being too greedy for magic. Um, and to this day, they are still very greedy entities, and they love magic. Uh, and seeing a pack of them here, the magic that was, creating this illusion for this space was probably very powerful, because these are creatures that love magic, and when they want it, they get it. You know that their antlers can absorb low-powered spells, allowing them to then cast that spell right back.
oh my.
So these are, pretty interesting creatures. They're not entirely evil. They're just strange and greedy.
Yeah, let's skedaddle.
Oh, I
Wait.
get it. They can eat him.
I'm gonna just start going into the woods, I guess.
Towards
Where else
them,
would we
Do
or
go?
would they?
No, not towards them.
So would they be a threat to the magical people in our party?
they desire tangible magics usually. So items, um, stuff like that. But you know, a large source of magic would definitely draw them. You can tell, you can understand why they would be here.
How long have we taken a long rest yet?
Nope.
When was
No.
the last time we took long rest?
About 12 hours ago.
Hmm.
It is the dead of night. There is no shelter that you know of. Uh, you'll probably need some sleep.
I think we should make distance between us and the Kadir and let them eat this dead goat.
Why don't we just make shelter inside then?
Not the safest place, but if we have to.
Inside does get you out of the elements, which it is very cold and pretty windy. I'd say yeah, there's tiny rocks. You know, the pathway is strewn about with them. Okay.
I'm gonna snuff out my lantern so we're not drawing a bunch of attention.
I'm going to make my way inside and see if there's a see if we can get a fire properly started.
Okay. Yeah, you head
Yeah, I'll help
inside,
with that.
and you are immediately, um, you know, greeted by three floating individuals. You can see one is currently sitting at the end of the table, holding what looks to be this, you know, unmarred, untouched ration. You can see this ghostly figure colored in this like greenish tint is just trying to bite into it. You can see that they're still here.
No, great. I don't.
Seems they have not been released.
Do we see their bodies?
Bodies are
Do
outside.
you think they?
Oh, yeah, they
even
were
know?
outside.
Say that again.
Do we think they even know?
It seems they did not initially, and they seem to have not yet realized.
That's really tragic.
Welcome back. Starting to get a little cold in here. Do you mind helping me restart this fire?
Do I know anything about getting rid of ghosts? From what I've read about curses and whatnot.
Make a history check.
Ooh, history's not great, but I'll try. Ah, 19.
Usually there's something that ties them here. Something having to do with their death in a way. Um, but if a ghost is able to deal with that trauma, usually they choose to move on.
Okay, I'll go start the fire.
Okay.
See if that helps them.
Before moving, Bonnie quickly reaches her hand to her staff and makes her fingertips glow. The golden liquid in the tiny vial on the staff will react and glow up to 10 feet, then have dim light for another 10 feet.
A flashlight.
But yeah, you head over and restart the fire. You can see Adon comes and helps you try and light it, but his fingers kind of go through all of the wood that he tries to put on the fire. He tries to blow on it, and there's no real like airflow out of him. But like he seems to think he's helping. Suddenly, the fire begins to roar to life, and you feel true warmth fill this room. The illusion was was strong enough to make it seem like there was a fire, but it's just so cold outside. But you now feel the true warmth of this room, and you do realize, like, even with holes in it, in the walls and the windows and the ceiling, having a lit fire drastically changes things. You all feel much better already just by having it, somewhat present. I I don't think I ever expected to feel this warm again. Boys, and he summons his two kids who come and join him by the fire. All three of these ghosts just kind of sit down, slightly floating over the floorboards, but just soaking in the bright light and the warmth of the fire.
Okay. I'm gonna go around, try and find any usable garments of clothing or blankets or anything, just so that we have like more protection whenever we have to leave.
Okay. Yeah, you head upstairs and check out the rooms. There is a lot of winter gear. They actually have snowshoes. They have coats, blankets, everything, and there is, multiple different sizes. You can see the empty closet that is seemingly Adan's wife's materials for some of you. The kids' stuff would likely fit. Um, Egil, um, Atlas would probably. Atlas could probably fit into Adan's stuff. It might be a little tight, but for most of you, you would have true winter gear available to you now.
Hell yeah, I'll gather all that up.
Does that include snowshoes?
Yes, it does.
Nice.
Yep. Snowshoes. There are packs, specifically for explorers packs, I believe, or adventurers packs.
I stand next to the fire by the ghost as well.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you'll do now?
Oh, well, with the warmth, I feel like the weather might be clearing up. I can go and find food. Maybe
Uh,
we can make it southward to Crimson.
do you know the year?
The year?
Yeah.
Hmm. Of course. It's 1423.
And the current year is
I believe 1455.
hmm.
So it's been a decent amount of time.
Been a decent amount of time. Hmm. That's very interesting. Your perception of time seems to be lost.
It's just the cold, I'm sure of it. Now that it's warm, things are different.
Would you like to know the current year?
Are you saying I'm wrong?
Certainly, you are.
What is it?
1455.
I. How? How could I have missed so much?
Are you familiar with the stages of grief?
Yeah. Yeah.
Concerning your wife's demise, what stage do you consider yourself to be in?
Denial?
Hmm. I see why your perception is so distorted then. If I remember correctly, I told you that my expertise was in the study of medicine, but that was a little inaccurate. My specific field is the study of thanatology. Do you know what that field is?
Um, no.
It's the study of death and its effects, including psychology.
You study death?
Yes.
Why bring this up to me?
This is the first time you felt warmth in a very long time.
Yeah. It's just been
And you
so
do not.
cold. It's just been the winter.
Do you have any signs of. Or.
What'd you say? You might have cut out.
Yeah, I was figuring out the words for myself.
Oh.
Do you have any physical signs of the effects of the cold? Any frostbitten limbs?
You see, he kind of looks at his fingertips, and you watch them begin to become purple and then black as his body becomes more gaunt. And you see what once looked like a normal person begins to resemble that strange entity that you fought outside. Oh, no, 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 no. Dad? Dad? And you watch as the other two spirits begin getting very worried as you see the thought of him being cold and malformed, and it is taking on a physical manifestation of his true body instead of the perception of a man that is fairly normal, just a little cold looking and hungry.
Yeah.
You see his hair starts to fall out as it freezes and begins to snap as he begins to look terrified.
You have been under the effects of an illusion for quite some time.
What do you do to me?
I'm simply giving you the truth. As I said, my study of death is for various reasons. Part of those is psychological. Due to that illusion, you have not been able to fully accept the fates that you have experienced.
Go ahead and make me Just make me a persuasion check for me. I want to see how they're reacting to you.
This is certainly a way of handling it.
Yes, this is very
He,
much a way.
he's a calculated scientist. He doesn't know.
Asnath is just kind of watching this unfold.
You see, the father begins to calm down. He's taking what you're saying as a fact, and you can see like there's a part of him that probably appreciates the honesty that you're not lying to him. You're telling him directly how it is. You see his skin change back slightly. You see the hair regrows, and he takes on that visage that he once was sharing with you of a man, you know, and you can see that the bits of hunger fade as well from his face. He looks more full, more happy, less cold. It's fine. Get come, and you see he touches both of them, and you see their um, malnutritioned faces also shift and become more full and plump as he almost seems to transfer a warm feeling of it'll be okay. Um, and it seems like he responds very well to the honesty you've given him. At first, he seemed to be angry, but it was misplaced anger. Ooh,
That nat 20, man.
I'm telling you.
yeah, don't have to fight ghosts, I guess.
I know.
Um, you,
Uh,
I appreciate you being honest with me. I didn't even realize. How could I realize?
I am not a expert at magic by any means. I can only imagine the effect it can have on one's mind.
I've been cold and lost for so long.
The one thing I have learned through my studies of the macabre, of course, is that it can be a release. I do not know what gods you worship or you follow, but I'm sure they lead some moniker of peace from this physical realm. And your wife and mother, I'm sure, is waiting for you somewhere. But that is on your beliefs. Mine stay rooted in science, unfortunately.
Thank you. Can I have your name?
Egil. Egil Motley.
Gil. I appreciate you.
I'm just spreading my knowledge.
Thank you for it. I'm gonna sit here for a little bit longer. Enjoy the warmth. Thank you.
I understand. And then I just kind of hands behind my back and just give them their time to themselves.
Yeah. You see these, ghostly apparitions begin to speak to each other. You can see them all kind of hold each other's hands. And you can see the young uh, kid puts his head on his father's shoulder, closes his eyes, as the older son looks on at all of you, just smiles and nods his head, turns towards his father, and then they both disappear, slowly fading away out of existence. content and happy. You can see the father flickers slightly and then looks up. My father's ring points towards the massive boar head, this strange, bristled creature. I put it in the mouth some years ago. Thank you. And in a moment, he flickers and fades.
I'll go fish around for the ring.
Okay.
Asnoth claps.
So,
And he immediately pulls out a little notes and starts making notes.
She's very impressed Eagle managed to pull that off.
see, Ripley's approach was going to be, don't talk to them, and then we leave tomorrow. So,
Oh, they would have just suffered here for the rest of the time. You know,
yeah, well,
they've had this like
problem.
this big lie that they've lived for 30 years about.
we're
So,
evil.
yeah. I mean, they've only been here for 30 years. Like, it's not too bad.
What was the applaud for, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, I'm just very impressed that you managed to pull that off. Usually, ghosts don't like being confronted with the reality of their situation so bluntly.
Really? I did not know that, actually.
They tend to be very emotional and
Hmm.
very defensive.
I was mainly doing it for research, to see how one who has not passed handles the stages of grief, actually. Was there a level of danger I was not aware of?
Well, it might have been troublesome if they had attacked us. Ghosts aren't physical.
And to be frank, you look like shit right now. Say as I have my arm like all the way in a boar's mouth.
Right.
And his his hands are probably shaking right now as he's writing his notes.
Yeah.
Noted.
You got like 1 hit point.
Yeah, I know. Noted.
I have like 2.
Well, then, I guess I will have to seek your advice in future endeavors for my pursuit of knowledge.
Ripley,
You don't have
it's
to.
about this time you snag onto a small, little like almost like brush-like object and pull it out, and you realize it is a ring made from golden bristles of the
Ooh,
gold main
terrible.
boar. It has a very bad texture to it, yes. But it feels, like this kind of well, it looks beautiful, even though the texture is a little weird.
Does it seem magical in any way?
There's a slight shine to it. There is also a sound that comes from outside. We hear a slight scratching sound as you see antlers come in through one of the windows, and a massive deer head pokes into the house.
I shoved the ring in my pocket.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh no. Oh no! I drop it! No!
You fumble with it, and it kind of does that Lord of the Rings thing where it flies in the air, and you partially catch it on your finger, and you look towards the creature in the window as it gives out this big like nose chuff as it just breathes cold air into the room, just staring daggers at you.
And then I turn invisible.
You don't turn invisible now.
Oh.
So it's not the One Ring.
No.
It's not the One Ring, no.
This is not great. A great situation.
And now that you're, and now that it's pretty close, and there's a firelight that it is casting upon it, it is much easier to see what this creature looks like. They're not the largest deer. They're actually considered to be, smaller sized creatures. But essentially, they look like this.
Pretty,
Massive,
but
thick,
terrifying.
crisscrossing
Damn.
antlers. They have a snake for a tail that kind of like squirms upward and is fairly long.
Don't like that.
Um,
This is Bambi's evil dad.
It is
Right.
it is an entity that is pretty strange, and it looks mad. Um, you see, it does not stop looking at Ripley at all.
Well.
Because Ripley has the ring.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a magic item.
Ripley, what are you doing?
Well, I'm going to, now that it knows I have it, I'm just gonna more slowly put it in my bag so it's safe and sound and not on my finger where it could be bitten off.
It suddenly opens its mouth, and you hear it do the elk cry into the house.
Ooh, awful bad.
That very loud, like.
Ripley.
You see it takes its antlers that are in the house. You see it bangs against the window slightly. Like it's not moving. It's just like it's getting angry and testy.
Ripley,
Uh-huh.
do you think... Would you like me to attempt to make a sacrifice for you?
What? What? What are you talking about?
The deer seems like it wants something that you have, and that you're unwilling to give it. I was wondering if I should try to give it something of mine to see if that would satisfy it.
I feel like we don't really need to bend to the whims of some random creature in the woods.
But there are so many of them.
I mean, I guess we could just fight
As
them from inside. It doesn't look like they can get in with their antlers.
so strangely, I will say, as Ripley says, "I guess," you see it starts to smile.
I don't like that. I don't like that it's smiling at us. That's not what deer are supposed to do.
What is do we
So I
understand
don't think we
its-
should give it anything, honestly.
Do we understand its level of intelligence? Does it understand a sacrifice?
You see it nods
seems
its
to
head.
Get the gist.
It seems
Then
like
I will make a sacrifice.
I will say it seems kind of like it can almost seem to understand you all.
Yeah, Osmond's like, I'll make a sacrifice. Even if it's breaking Ripley's whims, it's no skin off my
You
teeth.
can do whatever you want. I'm not giving
can.
a random deer my shit.
Do
As
you
my,
understand
like-
it? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I've talked a lot.
This was out of character. I chose as my starting magic item a rope of mending. Can I try to give it that?
You said a rope of mending?
Yeah, just the common magic item.
You got that too?
Not robe, rope.
Oh.
Hmm.
I like twinsies.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
As you go to hand a deer a magic item.
Damn.
Hmm. Yeah, you walk over.
I rolled a 2.
Okay. Yeah, the deer. Uh, as you walk over, holding out this rope, the deer looks at it. You see these, and now that you're right next to it, you can see these cold, black, voided eyes. There is no light to them. They are featureless. They regard you with apathy and anger for a moment. And then you can see the horns, these antlers, begin to come alive as they start to gain color.
Oh,
Does anyone do
I'm gonna
anything?
fucking. I.
Just gonna Eldritch Blast it.
Okay.
Oh,
Why?
Hey, it's choosing violence. I'm just returning the
Not to the
favor.
part where it'll return lower level spell.
I don't care.
yeah, I think you should.
Reflexively, Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Go ahead and roll
Uh,
damage. Well, go roll your attack.
That's
12
not very good.
does not hit. The
Great.
Eldritch Blast slams against the wall to its side.
Love that.
Anyone else doing anything?
Uh,
doing something?
I
Anyone else
will.
had anything prepped? No?
I have. I can toss a dagger.
Okay.
Oh man. Or not a dagger, but a dart. Dang. Oh no.
Okay.
I guess I'll throw my spear.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Deer bites aren't fatal.
17?
a
That
bite.
16, sorry. That will hit actually.
Also, deer kill people a lot.
No, they're
How big are these
teeth.
ones? These
They're-
are medium sized.
They're on the shorter
How's it?
end.
Oh no, I meant legitimately on like D&D scale. That's all I was meant legitimately. Yeah.
They're medium, yeah. 10 piercing damage. The spear stabs into its neck and looks angrily about the space as its antlers flash with light as it casts magic missile at second level.
Oh no.
Hey, don't do that.
I'm dead.
I'm down. It depends on what they do. Oh my gosh.
So it's going to send 2 darts towards Asanath, 2 darts at Ripley.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I tried to give you something, my dude.
Do we have
not
our
like
new
it.
abilities from leveling up?
No. Oh.
No.
I think I have like 2 HP.
6
Oh
Unfortunate.
no.
damage to Ripley. And
Ah, jeez.
7 to
I-
Asanath.
I'm down.
Let's roll
Oh
initiative.
my gosh. I avoided the ghost.
You avoided the ghosts. So far, it seems like only one is still actively pursuing magic in the area. So it just seems like it's one
We have
deer.
to- Okay.
So we don't have our second level spell slots, right?
I
think have like one first level left. So do that. So auto swapped me over to second level, and I don't have those.
Oh man. This is not what I was expecting.
Well, on the bright side, I still have my rope. of
Have we
mending.
been chilling here for about an hour? Or probably not that long.
No.
Probably not.
I mean, it was getting closer to an hour with the talk to the ghosts and trying to find the magic item and talking to yourselves and stuff like that.
Assume not a short rest though.
Probably not.
Okay.
It's
I have
alright,
one
guys.
first level spell slot. Sure. What the fuck did I click? I don't even know.
Egil, you roll initiative.
Oh, let me roll. Yeah, sorry. Oh no. Oh no. Why did he roll so high?
I don't know.
Okay, we
Um,
have gotten this fast.
so the deer will leap into the window on its turn. So that's 5. We're gonna put Asanath right at the window as well. The fire would have probably been near the back of the chamber. Table's like over here, so I'm assuming most of you are in the middle of the room. Let's do that. The deer will charge. Additional. Yeah, it'll just dash here. And it's going to probably ram into Atlas as it comes charging into the space. Because Atlas, you hit it. 23 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Okay. That is 5 bludgeoning and 2 force. As it
And
just
I'm
slams
down.
into you. That ends its turn.
Oh no.
Its eyes turn to Ripley at the end of its turn as it seems like it knows where it's going next.
What if it didn't?
What if it did? Bonnie Smith. A single rampaging Kadir has infiltrated the house.
Oh.
Okay. Ooh. Cheeky cure wounds. Okay. Roll the healing. Seven. Okay. 7 to Atlas. Anything else? Okay. Have a clay attack. $13 just hits. Five force. Okay. It's looking bloodied. This is not a strong creature. It's just angry and had a spell. Ripley.
Okay. Well, now that I know this thing eats magic, I'm gonna try. Attack. I'm gonna try to cast Hex at it.
Okay.
Give it disadvantage on strength checks.
Fair enough.
Does it work?
What's the roll again?
It's not a roll.
Oh,
Here's the wording.
Chapman 1.
Really, the work order doesn't work.
I was hoping since it's just like an auto target thing, it doesn't reflect.
It'll take it.
Cool. And then I'll pull out a crossbow that I never use.
Well, you don't want to Eldritch Blast it?
I feel like it's a bad idea.
I think you should Eldritch Blast it.
No. Well,
12 misses.
if I could roll good, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, the attack goes wide. The Kadir looks at you. As you pulled out the crossbow, you see its eyes kind of like get a little wide, like it wasn't expecting you to do that. But luckily, the attack goes wide and it readies itself. Atlas.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna move a little bit
All good.
to hopefully draw some ire away from McGill. So I've got the hit points for it.
Okay. Atlas.
Yeah, I'll get up, kind of stumble to this little corner, then just get real angry and stab it right through it.
Okay. You have advantage. 22 will hit. Okay. It is on the brink of death. You stab right through its neck, and it looks furious. Blood begins to spill out, and you can see it's this weird greenish color as it turns its head towards you now. And you can see it almost seems to realize it's in a bad spot. But you see the antlers begin to glow once more, like it has one more spell in there. Is that all for Atlas?
Yep, that's all.
Okay, Ygil.
Oh man. Okay. Alrighty. I am going to dagger. At advantage. Come on. Oh, nice.
That'll hit.
Ugh. Not that great of damage though.
As its eyes are wide and it's focusing on this antler attack, you just run up and stab it right in the eye with the dagger. It tries to buck you off, but to no avail, as it just causes more harm to itself as you are flung to its back and the dagger crawls from the eye down part of the neck, and the blood loss is too much and it collapses to the floor. Dead.
We are not officially level 3 yet though, right?
You've not had the long rest for level 3 yet.
Damn. Okay.
So spells, like spell slots, have not gotten to you yet. HP has not gotten to you yet. I would say an ability, maybe.
Alright. Because I get to activate my Touch of Death. I gain temporary whenever I bring a creature within 5 feet of me down to 0 hit points. I gain temporary hit points equal to my wisdom modifier plus my monk level.
Nice.
If we have abilities, could we say that my staff can cast its spell? Because it doesn't cost spell slots, it's just charges.
Give me 1 sec.
If not, it's okay. I'll just rush over to do a medicine check, which I'm not good at, but I'll try.
Oh, thank you for not letting me die.
I mean, I'm attempting.
I'd say yeah, you can have
I
that.
will heal you.
Okay, great. So I'll use a charge from my staff We can say it only had like one charge built up so far. If that
Yeah.
is better. So I'll use a charge to do a healing word. Oop, not the necrotic damage. But you get 5 hit points. That's enough.
Just
The minimum I could give you.
I get 6 points. I'm awake.
Nice.
Stand up. I dust myself off like nothing happened.
Yeah, you stand up and dust yourself off. The deer is dead, but it did make this loud sound. You know, while it was waiting for you to give it a magic item. What are you all doing? You're technically not an initiative any longer.
You said this thing's antlers are like still magical-ish. They got magic in them.
Yeah.
Could I try to break off one of the points?
Sure.
I
Go ahead and make me a survival check.
Can I help with that?
Sure.
I don't like butchering animals, but I feel like this is useful.
Yeah, you take a large piece of antler. It kind of almost like seems to have a heartbeat to it, and it seems to be fairly magical. Also, you would also guess at least these antlers are, you know, they could probably fetch a price as well.
Okay. I don't know if we want to stick around long enough to do a ritual spell. Because that thing just let out a huge call. It's going to attract more. We've got enough cold gear now. We could just try to find somewhere else to hole up for the night.
No bank before.
The issue is I don't know if we're going to outpace them.
Well, they won't be looking for us. They'll just be coming to this location.
Yeah.
They don't know inherently that we have magic items. They just know that this guy died here trying to get a magic item.
Before we
And
just
they
start
do that.
bolting out, I go to like a window and I peer out. Do I see any of the other deer
Make a perception
already?
check.
I so badly want to know if I can eat this deer.
You really just want to eat things, don't you?
I
14?
don't have many rations left.
You see no sign of the deer. Like they probably left fairly quickly. You know, it's been probably about 40 minutes. Who knows how close they are? But you don't see any sign of them right now.
Oh yeah, Bonnie, if you wanted to do some distraction magic, that could be useful.
If we wish to leave, we need to make it quickly. I don't see them in the distance.
Yeah, we should haul ass.
I really wanted to do an autopsy on the corpse, but
I have a question.
Yes.
How heavy is this corpse?
I would say
it's a deer. I'm gonna say that thing is at least
no.
500-600 pounds.
I'd honestly say it's like maybe 200. Like it's
Oh, these things are
like,
small.
Yeah, they're fairly small. Like I say they're a medium creature. They're barely a medium creature. Like they're pushing small. Like they're basically the size of a human, almost.
Can we eat it? Because if we can eat it, it's worth it for 2 of us to carry this around.
I mean,
You
Prob-
need
you
Atlas to
probably-
carry this.
It's
Yeah.
definitely more edible than the other creature. The magic only seems to be in its antlers. The rest of its body is muscle.
It seems like it's made of meat, so I guess that we could eat it.
I kind of look at my arms. I am not physically capable of lifting this.
Then it's a good
Neither
thing
am
that
I.
there's here.
I got it.
Thank you.
If we have one strong person.
Atlas, yeah, you
I am already almost at my carrying capacity just with my equipment.
you lift the Kadir up. It's not that bad. You assumed it was going to be like 200 pounds. It's more like 180. Like it's actually not that bad. This thing is, you'd guess, not that strong, like strength wise. Definitely more agile than it is strong. So it's not that heavy.
All right, let's haul ass.
Yeah, all of you had a nice little time at the fire. You all head out into the woods, into the wilderness, into the snow. You travel for probably an hour or so, and generally, with snowshoes on, you get farther than you would normally have at any other day. But you are all exhausted after a very, very long day. You set up your winter tents and begin the process of falling asleep, taking a long rest out here in the woods. I'm gonna say with your winter gear that you are more capable of being in these environments. I'm not going to have you roll survival checks for now. Plus, you're on the outer edges of the coldest reaches.
Before we just start cutting up the deer for sake of food, Igil will ask if he can do an autopsy on it. That's like a question to the group.
Makes no difference to me. As long as I don't have to watch.
Yeah. So, of course. Because I like to think that Igil hasn't really done too many autopsies on magical creatures. The overlaps in the arcane and science and whatnot. And then as he does that, then once parts that he's already looked at, he'll cut them out and stuff, and he'll let others figure out what to do with that for food. And then he'll just make his notes.
Okay. Go ahead and just make a medicine check for me. As Bonnie watches, you do an autopsy on the deer. And part of that autopsy, you're basically taking it apart, setting aside chunks of meat and organs. You're basically butchering it, but in a more organized way. Yeah.
Yeah. This is for research.
Skinning and autopsies are very close.
Oh yeah.
What?
17. You take apart this creature. It has features similar to deer. It's definitely not as strong as a typical deer would be. Technically, it would be a little bit weaker. For the most part, it is very deer-like. Technically has a smaller heart, smaller relative organs. The only thing that is truly weird and strange is there are technically two brains. One in the top of the snake head, and then one in the deer head itself.
Okay.
The brain in the deer head is generally pretty large. And guessing by how advanced it looks, this was a very intelligent creature. That seemingly just had a moment of me. It probably just thought it could take you. But generally, this is probably this is a creature that, if it was not a deer, you're surprised this creature didn't speak to you. This is definitely a sapient creature, highly intelligent. The snakehead has a small brain that, while you've never really... Would you have ever done an autopsy on a deer before?
I would think. Do you think with where the monastery was? Do you think deers might have made their way up there?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Then probably.
The brain that is inside of the snake is relatively the size of a deer. Brain.
Oh. How big was the snake?
About, maybe fist sized.
It was the size of a deer, a regular deer.
It almost like looking at the snake head. It is how to say this. It is basically the deer brain, but encased in small layers of skin. Deer brains are not that big.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know how big they were.
They're not
Plot
that big.
twist, deer is stupid.
Plot
Deer are
twist.
incredibly dumb.
Deer are very
Fascinating.
very stupid. Here's an image of relative size to a deer brain. That's kind of how big like a doe would be with its brain there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Itty bitty.
Or this one as well. Like it's
Valid.
Yeah, it's small.
Valid.
I don't want to say this on air. Never mind.
You can say it.
Go ahead. You're gonna say
Okay.
all these other things.
Here,
I
here.
know this-
Hold on. I'll mute you. I muted your stream audio, so just say it.
Brain matter, and typically an animal will have enough brain
To tan their own
to
hide.
process. Yeah.
Interesting.
That is crazy knowledge. Is this Asanoth knowledge?
Asanoth probably knows this. I can't imagine her not knowing this.
That's
Um,
wild.
Yeah, it converts rawhide to leather.
Huh.
Interesting.
I like that.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that's
What
something
did
that
I
you,
roll?
that's something that you find out while dissecting
Yeah.
the deer. The antlers are separate to the actual
Don't
deer
forget to
itself.
Unmute me.
So you see that a deer, well, one of these kadir, you could technically take their antlers and they would not technically die. Which is strange. The antlers themselves are beautiful and made more of they are colored by the magic that flows in them, but they are closest in texture and substance to ivory. So they are actually probably worth a decent chunk of money.
Okay. So the natural color is like ivory, but they gain their hues and colors from the magic.
Yes. Other than that, it would be totally safe to eat this. It's mostly deer meat, essentially. The similarities between its brain and a human brain, you would probably suggest to not touch the brain, not eat the brain. Just to avoid human or humanoid diseases that can be acquired from eating their brains.
Okay.
Just from your scientific knowledge.
Right.
Human brain soup is not good for you.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know when any of this information will be useful, but I'm gonna have it anyway.
Prions.
All right. So 2 brains, deer snake, high level intelligence, surprised it couldn't speak. Snake brain size of regular brain, regular deer brain. Antlers are separate from the deer. Can be removed without their death. Natural ivory color. Hues and colors stem from magic. Okay. All right. Thank you. And he also thanks the party for allowing him to do his research.
Nice. So, with that,
This is an excerpt from Alaska's Fish and Wildlife Department.
oh,
The second most important thing to feel is make sure you do not forget to retain
Highlights
animals'
by
brains. It
me.
won't go too deep into the content. But the gist is that the lipid breakdown of animal's brain provides wild
every
nature's perfect
animal has
solution for
enough
penetrating and
brains to
expanding
tan
technical
zones.
hyperprecision.
Long told saying. Fundamental knowledge is a core attribute of our human legacy.
So,
I'm just carrying out the human
so
legacy.
basically, every
guys.
animal is smart enough to skin itself.
Yes.
That's such an
It's
interesting
just a little
correlation to
quirk of
find between the
nature.
size of.
So,
It's very helpful.
So,
human brains.
well, like dolphins have big brains.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So after they finish doing all that,
Huh.
I need to talk to Bonnie.
Sorry, I can't reach.
Yeah, they're talking about that while they're in the middle of skinning that the deer, the kadir.
Osmosis dropping a fun fact.
Yeah.
Did you know that every animal has enough brains to tan its own hide?
And he's probably writing down now notes. I did not know that.
Disturbing, wonderful.
The nerd convention
Um,
is disturbing.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
what
I'm
The
gonna
happens.
macabre.
find Bonnie, and pull the ring out of my bag. Is there any way you can see what this does? Do you need like a specific component or? Ooh, yikes. Okay. Well, I'll figure it out. And then I'm gonna go to my tent and I'm just gonna put the ring on.
Okay. You put the ring on.
What are the chances it kills me, you know?
Not very
So,
likely.
You put the ring on. Let me just find the ring again. As you put it on, you feel as if there is a feeling like you need to reach for something. Like there's something missing. As if there is something that you're missing.
I'll look through my bag and make sure everything's there.
You have everything. It's more of like a feeling of like it's hard to explain. Like there's something to the ring there that you just don't know how to find. Like there's something on the tip of your tongue that it's not there.
All right, well, I'll just keep it on for now. I'll try to attune to it if I'm able to. If I'm not, well, none of us know what it does, so.
You could try and look it over, do an Arcana check on it.
Yeah, I'll do an Arcana check,
Do
sure.
an Arcana check.
That's
You
pretty
begin
good.
to once over it, and as you do look over it, you can see that almost wrought into the bristles of the ring itself, there's a small, almost like section of bristles that are intricately tied into this beautiful calligraphy, as if there's words on the inside of the ring. And you
So there's
realize,
words?
yeah.
Can I read it?
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say words. There's letters. You read it, and it forms a single word. That word being Tusk Dream. So, yep, it says Tusk Dream.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. It's some kind of family heirloom.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't say the name?
I mean, I assume I'd probably read it out loud to myself.
Oh. Well, if you read it out loud to yourself, the ring lights up. It becomes bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet, as it shines brightly with this golden
Jesus.
hue.
I flashbang myself in my tent.
Basically. Basically. And this light is incredibly strong. And beautiful. And yeah. You have a permanent light.
If I
Does it?
say Tusk Dream again, does it turn off?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's like a beautiful golden flashlight.
Wonderful. I
Yeah.
have a
But
flashlight
just so you
now.
know, it has no duration, so it just lasts forever.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And it seems there might be something else to it, but it's hard to tell. At least you know partially what it does.
I'll go back to the group after I figure out that it glows. Does anybody have trouble seeing in the dark?
Yeah, I can't really see in the dark.
Well, now you can. Well, this ring will glow. And I'll give the ring to Atlas.
Okay.
If you say the word on the inside, it glows really bright. Do not hold it next to your face. You'll see stars for a bit.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
And with a fresh migraine, I go back to my tent. I think I've caused permanent damage to my retinas.
Okay.
Hey, Dustin, did you ever get a chance to look at my notes?
I did actually.
You like the color codes?
I do. Your notes are fantastic.
Whoa, you color cord your notes?
Yeah, they're color coordinated.
Damn, mine's
Hmm,
just like
what are-
bullet points and sub bullet points.
What
You also
colors do you use?
It's mainly just for it's mainly just for positive, neutral, and negative standings on things. So for so if it's like an NPC and like either uh Egil likes them or they like Egil, I put that in green. And then if they have white lettering, that means they're still alive. If it's black lettering, then they're gone.
Yep. Rip Fen Sei Broth.
Yep. And
Uh,
all the test streams.
all of them. Yeah. I mean, they've been
Their
dead.
legacy lives on.
They stay dead.
And
Yep.
Atlas's ring.
And then I have a like a mustard yellow for like neutral, so you know we know who they are, but it's not really good or bad. Then obviously red's for
Fuck you.
if shit ain't going. Yeah, fuck you or fuck me, depending on how they feel. you
Yeah.
know.
Either way. One or the other.
Oh, one more thing. During any bit of, I guess I should have really been asking this along the way, but have I been able to find any? Would I have been able to find any of the fungus of off a rotting corpse from the
Not really.
undead?
The
No.
corpses were basically flash frozen.
Okay. And I'm sure there's no portobello mushrooms given the time. So,
No.
all right, cool.
Well, would it count if we just kept a little piece of this cut up corpse that we have and let fungus grow on it?
Would I be able to do that?
If it happens.
Put it in a jar, put some dirt in there.
You have a very creative mind. And I'll do
Very
as you said.
Yeah, you create like a small little
Eat some
you know,
shrooms.
a fungus garden essentially. And set that up.
Fungus guarding. Put that in my in my inventory.
If you don't have store bought mushroom, homegrown is fine.
Homegrown is fine. Jarred fungus biome.
It's a fungus starter, if you will. Also, if I just don't hear something, it's because my tinnitus is being wacky tonight. So there's like solid 10-15 second periods where I hear nothing at all.
Oh no.
We hate tinnitus.
It's truly the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being extra silly tonight.
Okay. So,
Okay.
with that, you all settle down in the woods, in your tents, and you have a long rest. Anyone
How
doing
many
watches?
Do we get how many rations do we get from the deer?
That is a good point.
Oh, from the deer, I would say
How many? All right. Before you answer that, how many rations should we have used so far? I want
so
to say
far,
what?
I will say it's usually what, one ration a day, so you should be down 2 rations generally.
Okay, so all right.
Because you would probably last 8 in bitter wood, and then once right after the rafts, and then the next day right before you got to this house. So you're down 2. I would say for each of you, if you smoke the meat or prepare it nicely, I'd say each of you can probably gain like 2 rations from it. So put
That's
you all back
decent.
Yeah, put you all back up to full, and that's for 5 people.
Yeah, I'll say that Alice
Good.
won't take any rations.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you don't have to eat.
Nope. I guess I'll point out too. Probably everyone knows that you haven't seen Alice eat like anything on this journey so far.
He puts that in. Gil puts that in his notes.
The first thing I thought was, so he's a cheap date.
Yeah, cheap dates.
You don't have to pay for his
Damn.
meal.
And I just proposed to him.
Oh.
Wish I'd known beforehand.
Oh.
Damn, babe, you don't eat. That's a deal breaker. It means you're cheap.
Bonnie will be messing with a crystal and some bottles in her tent as she mentioned something about needing power. The crystal,
Also-
something about needing power. The crystal activates needs again. Okay.
I assume that we will have like a fire going.
Is Bonnie
prepare the meat.
hallucinating in her tent?
Maybe. And watches, I assume, throughout the night.
For sure watches.
I'd become Wizard 101.
Buy a computer.
I will not be taking first watch. I need to get at least a short rest in.
I only need 4 hours of
Jedi
sleep because of
crystals.
trance. But I will say, Asanoth does keep like a wide berth around the fire.
Understandable. Get high on crystals.
Get high on crystals.
I won't be watching. After I do the autopsy, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much most of my energy.
I'll take a watch.
Yeah, I'll probably do like 4 hours of like active watch, and I can do also like another like 4 hours like passive watching.
Okay. What do you do with the carcass of the deer?
Parts of it that we can't eat.
Like all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
I can take it off into the woods a little ways, then leave it.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe like bury it somewhere like far away from us.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna. I'll gather up all the antlers and try to like break them down into smaller pieces and just keep those. So there's
Okay.
something I want to try with them later.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I can take all the viscera off into the woods.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So who is first watch?
I'll do it.
You'll do it, Asanath. Let's see here.
I can also join first watch.
Would it make more sense if we
Yeah,
staggered the
yeah,
4
y'all
hours?
two should stagger yours, because remember, y'all both have 4 hours with the.
hmm
That's true. I guess I'll do like more passive ones because technically, even though I need 4 hours of rest, I still can be conscious. I'm still conscious during that 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll be like passively watching.
All right.
Okay. The night as first watch comes for Asanath becomes clearer. The moon is out in force, and you can see it slowly rising into the sky, this beacon of light. Which gives ample clarity to the night around you. Go ahead and make a perception check.
22.
22. It's a very clear night. You have ample eyesight, and the only thing that you really notice is there is sounds coming from the woods. around you, especially in the direction of where you buried the deer. Um, and you begin to notice small groups of crows, two at a time, slowly beginning to circle the space. They fly around that section of forest and then dip, disappearing back to wherever they came from. But other than that, there's not really too much that happens during your watch. It is calm and quiet.
Yeah. I'll just make sure that the fire doesn't go out, and wake up whoever's next when it's time.
Okay.
I'll go next.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check for your watch. Okay. Okay. You do see, many of these uh, crows flying into the space as well. Let's see here. Other than that, your watch is also very clear. Um, Nothing too much seems to happen.
All right. Throughout my watch, I'm like sitting pretty close to the fire, so I took off like the excess clothing so I don't get too hot because the cold isn't super bothersome for me anyway.
Mhm.
I'll probably do like some shaky stretches for my wings so that they don't get all cramped up and stuff.
Atrophied and
Yeah, I mean they're already pretty atrophied.
Yeah.
But just trying a little bit to keep them movable. And then using the heat to clean up my arm as well. Which he takes his arm off to clean it, and then casts Mage Hand to still have two hands to be able to clean it with. But he can't afford a new one, so he is very meticulous about keeping it pristine and working.
Okay. Yeah, it does begin to, as you wake up the next individual for their watch, you do see, the clear sky does slowly start to fade as it seems like another snow is going to hit, for your, early morning to mid-afternoon. Um, and as you, go and, get into your second layer of sleep, uh, you do begin to dream.
Oh no.
Yeah. At first, it's pretty normal. You were merely dreaming of at first it feels like you're still awake. Um, you're looking up into the night sky, seeing that single clear moon. You hear the ravens and crows cawing, and then there's this shift in color, and you turn your head towards the moon as you watch it become eclipsed in red and begins to slowly drip as a freezing rain hits you. Freezing rain of red blood. And then you hear that voice creep around your neck, perching on your shoulder, whispering right into your ear as it watches from directly behind you, like this shadow that is there constantly, hungry, yearning for you to feed it. You have done so well thus far. Keep it up. Don't let me go hungry. The presence fades slightly, and part of you feels slightly emboldened, slightly stronger. The dream doesn't wake you up, thus you can't really discern what its abilities are until you wake up, which brings us to Last Watch. So, Last Watch, I believe, is Atlas then.
Yep.
Okay. Roll me a perception check for Atlas. You dual 15s. Okay. Okay. Um, you and Clay, as you are, you know, watching out, you see the light begins to, fade for the most part. I just realized something that's kind of an interesting thing. But anyways, the two of you are watching out as the slight snowfall begins to hit. You can see more sets of these crows beginning to fly into the space, and then even faster than before, you watch they are shoot away almost as you begin to hear soft rustling in the woods, and you can see currently walking out of the woods is a looks to be a massive mountain lion. Powerful jaws, big, um, huge paws, and currently in its mouth is the skull of the deer. You see, it's been ripped from its shoulders, and it is just holding the mouth and the head in its mouth. You watch as those two crows circle back. You see one lands directly on the face. You see the mountain lion drops the meal, and as it goes to bite into the crow takes its beak, pokes it right into the eye of the mountain lion, goes out, and then flies off right before the mountain lion is able to take a bite at the crow. The crow gets away with its single eye snack as the mountain lion slowly seems to um, growl and hiss. And then it picks back up the head, looking up into the sky, not paying attention to a bunch of darkened tents in the middle of this harsh wilderness, and it begins to move past your group, not but 20 feet away. You would recognize this as a cousin to mountain lions. This is technically a corpse jaw. Which technically they're very similar to regular mountain lions, except their jaws are, um, some say, as strong as adamantine. Very dangerous beasts. But it doesn't notice you, and it walks off.
Oh my.
Yes. Oh my, indeed. With that, the Nice. So, as the sun rises, you all awaken. Um, the sun is, you know, diffused through a layer of decently thick clouds and snowfall that kind of mutes a lot of the area around all of you. Um, Sound travels not as well and is, very muffled. But you all are generally well rested, and you feel all of you stronger than you normally would have been.
Long rest.
You are all fully healed. A dark and dangerous day has fallen to the wayside. Ripley, as you've awakened today, due to Hadar uh, seemingly very happy with your progress of feeding him over the past, generally 2 days, you are going to gain a point of inspiration.
Oh.
As you feel emboldened through the words of Hadar. He wants you to feed him some more.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Yeah. So the day is yours. As you all awaken to a nice snowy day. You're about 24-ish miles from the edges of Cardinal, which was your last destination. With snowshoes, you can pretty much get just there. For the most part, you'll be on the fringes of the city.
Okay. Um. We just keep moving, guys.
Let's go.
No better plan.
Alrighty.
Okay. You all continue your journey. Who is leading you all?
I will.
Okay, Asanath. Roll me a D100, please.
I will. Oh, okay. I'm
Oh?
just gonna help with the covering tracks behind us.
Easy enough. With snowshoes now, it's, simple.
God, if they find us now, they deserve it. They did the fucking work. That's 12.
12.
That'd be a
What does
good divine
12
intervention roll.
mean?
It would be. It technically would be.
Oh, but I don't have divine intervention.
Well, get it.
Not yet.
Not yet. I can make us all go
Just-
mad.
Gain 7 levels real quick.
Would that be helpful? Would going insane help?
I mean, you never know.
You.
There is a chance it'll give us advantage on attacks. We'll also have advantage on attacks against us. but-
Ripley's got a scary voice in his head. He's already half crazy.
Yeah, and now you have a scary voice outside of your head.
Exactly. Saying the scary voice in my head is good.
Yes. And that you should listen to the scary voice in your head.
As if I have a choice. I think Asanoth would probably notice that Ripley's staff seems to radiate more Hadaran power now.
Hell yeah.
The nebula inside the top of it probably looks a little bit more
Gotta go kill more people.
what's the word? It's worse
Red?
to look at. Yeah, it's like more red, and if you look at it too long, you starts to feel like it's gonna swallow you up
Yeah.
More
because it's now
more hungry.
it's now a subclass item, so it's infused with
Like
power.
a.
It's more Hardar-esque.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love I get to keep my tip hit points from taking out that deer.
Nice.
We
So now I'm
love
not
that.
as squishy.
It does kind of look like the black hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah. So now I
Love
have a
those
total
pictures.
of 22 hit points to deal with instead of 17.
Wowzers.
Oh, 24.
This black hole is just an eye.
Yeah. I'm gonna
They
be
say,
right back.
you know, it's just the universe looking at us.
Waiting to swallow us.
Yeah,
Waiting
this is the eye of
slow.
Sauron.
I remember there was a post on Facebook one time, and it was like, if you were going to die, what are like one of three things you would choose? Is the first one was like to find out if God was real before you died. The second one was to find out what's inside the center of a black hole, and the third one was like, what was the third one, man? Like the meaning of life or some shit like that. I was like, put me in a black hole, dog. I want to see what happens.
But I feel like knowing if God is real is so important because if he is real, then you can just be like, God, forgive me, and then you go to heaven.
But like to me, it's like you either believe God's real or you don't. At that point, I mean, if you don't, then what's the purpose of finding out? Does it count if you already know?
But what if you genuinely don't?
Okay.
If you're like, I'd believe in God if there was scientific proof.
But is it
So-
supposed to be about the faith?
Here's the real question. Is this something that you're able to share with other people? I
I
assume
mean,
not.
it's before you die.
Okay. Then yeah, black hole.
Yeah, I'll
Let's
let you.
just
So,
Yo, sorry.
back
Go ahead.
back
Sorry.
to the
Sorry.
game.
Back to the game. Back
As
to
you
the
were
game. Back to the game.
traveling,
yes, yes, yes.
you're traveling through the edges of the forest. The Bitterwood seems to, have points where there are sections that seem to be cut away, clear cut almost. And as you're traveling through some of these sections, um, there's one thing that Asanath you spot first over everyone else in your party. Up ahead, there is a section where it is a clear cut section of forest where there are small little trees that are trying to grow, but there is one massive old tree that you see has not been cut down, and all around it you can see that the winter snow is gone. It is almost within a 20-foot radius of this tree that there is just no snow on it or around it. You can see this. This older willow tree, and it is covered with this like golden leaves or golden like moss almost that just seems to drapes across it in certain spots. It doesn't seem to take over the entire tree or anything, but there's a little bit of moss that clings to some of the branches.
I stop and I point it out. to everyone behind me. And then if no one else wants to do anything, I'll avoid it. I'll give it an
So
extra 5 feet around the already 20-foot berth it made for itself or whatever happened here. Because that's weird.
it's a clear, like it's been cleared. There's stuff trying to grow, but there's mainly just one large tree.
Yes. Yeah. So imagine just a clear-cut forest, and then there's one massive tree, and then there's a lot of new growth. You know, this place has seemingly been abandoned for a very long time. So the trees here are growing, but they're
And
very
yet-
slow
Okay.
growing.
There's no snow.
Or only
there is
around
no
the one big tree.
Yep.
About with it around 20 feet of it.
Does it
20
have
yards.
branches? I mean, does it have like foliage that would explain why there isn't any snow?
It's like a willow, so it has
Okay, it's a
very
willow.
drooping
Okay.
leaves. You can see that there's a lot of yellow moss, like golden moss, hanging from some of its branches.
All right, so
Um,
not enough to really justify there being no snow. Got you.
Not within 20 feet, no.
Okay. I don't know much of flora.
Hmm.
Golden snow? Nah, golden moss.
Well, we could throw a snowball there, see if something happens.
Hmm. Scientific theory. Sure, why not?
I love the intersection between folk knowledge and science.
It's fantastic.
Who's tossing the snowball?
Yeah, who's tossing it?
I personally think the monk would be best at it, but I can.
Oh, I'll toss it. I don't mind at all.
Yeah, go for it. I'm more of a mental fighter. I fight with the element of the mind.
I'll toss a snowball into the area.
Okay. Yeah, you
We're having
toss
a
the
snowball
snowball.
fight?
Pretty much.
With a kinda.
Maybe.
We don't know with what yet, but we are.
Yeah, you toss the snowball into the area. It are you aiming for something in particular, or
Well, and the first one will just kind of make it within the 20-foot radius. Just within it, I guess, no more than
okay? Yeah,
10
you throw
feet.
it. You throw it onto the grass in the area, and it hits the grass, and you watch it slowly begins to melt. It's not fast or anything. It just slowly. It seems like the area is pretty warm. It's not
My
immediate.
next my next idea would be to throw a rabbit, but I don't have one.
What are we looking at?
A weird tree.
A
Yeah, you're looking at a
Yeah.
tree with a willow tree, really old, covered in not covered. It has a lot of yellow moss on it, but it is surrounded by clear-cut forest, and more specifically, there's an area of 20 feet around the tree where there is just no snow. No snow on
Have
the
you seen
tree.
anything like this before?
Make a history check.
Nope.
Yeah,
I'd
you've
love to roll
never.
good. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, but you've never seen a tree like this. Well, you've seen willow trees, but you've never seen a tree with no snow around it in the middle of winter.
Hmm.
Let's just leave it alone. It seems like
Like I said,
a bad situation.
next idea: throw a rabbit. Are there rabbits around?
You want to hunt for a rabbit?
No, that'll take up way too much
Yeah,
time.
that sounds like way
This
too much
isn't
time.
worth it.
Yeah.
Let's just keep going. This seems like something we shouldn't mess with.
No. Yeah. Gil isn't that interested. It's just interesting to see.
Okay. So you would leave the tree behind?
Yeah, I have no invested
Yeah, let's
interest into
keep going.
this.
Yeah.
Cool. So you pass by the tree.
Does anyone have a map?
I'm just going
Absolutely
based off
not.
of what I know about Cardinal.
In like the back of my notebook and back of my little journal, I'll kind of put like where we're going, like to the left ruins of Cardinal, then to the right the Bitterwood. Then I'll just put like a rough estimate of where this tree area is.
Okay.
That's all.
Sweet. So you all continue on, and eventually the tree leaves your view. As you continue to walk, the snow doesn't stop. It continues to fall over and over, blanketing the region until about halfway through the day. It does begin to drift off as you seem to be coming upon an area that generally is receiving less snowfall. Um, the area goes from being this thick, matted place of, you know, deep snow that you need snowshoes to walk on to being snow patched. Um, and eventually, it seems to, clear up greatly. Travel for, a long time over the course of the day. You begin to see distant mountains, rocky hills, I should say, rising uh, into view all around the south. Um, you can see elements of where the old forest probably stood and probably went up to these rocky hills until it was eventually clear cut for whatever reason in fairly recent years. You can see there's definite signs that this forest is growing, but trees take a long time to become old growth, and this is very much still new growth forests. Um, Traveling through here in the summer would probably be very difficult, as it would just be a lot of tall grasses and weeds up until a certain point. It doesn't seem like they really replanted whatever they cut down.
That is not sustainable.
No, it is not. These rocky hills seem to carve paths between themselves, but as night begins to approach, as it's still wintertime, you don't see an easy way to traverse this with the very last bits of daylight left. Judging by your map that you do have, Cardinal is not too far. You're probably maybe an hour out of the city, but due to the rocky hills, you can't actually see it. So you're forced to set up camp once more. Who wants to take a watch? And make sure to
I'll
mark
take a
off
watch.
your ration.
I'll take a
go.
watch this time.
Okay. Egil, Asanaf. And I'm guessing,
Yep,
Atlas,
I'll-
you take up the last watch again?
Yep, I'll take the last one.
Sweet. Which one of you wants to go first?
I'll go first this time.
Okay.
We can double up on first watch. I'll go too.
Sweet. I
Alrighty.
need for first watch. Roll me perception checks, please. 24, 21, and an 11. Your watch is fairly standard. Weather-wise, you do note that a cold chill kind of descends down from the hills, and generally it becomes a very cold night. Do you choose to light a fire?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. You all light a fire just within range of all of the tents to ensure that there's a little bit of heat, hitting all of you. Uh, it's a very, very freezing cold night. Um, Other than that, you hear what appears to be an owl hooting off in the distance, um, as seemingly there is some sort of refuge for, an owl animal somewhere within the area. It doesn't seem to really bother you though. Second watch, Asanath. Go ahead, roll me perception check.
Yes. If I remember to double click and open my character sheet. $13.
13. And the 17. Okay. Interesting. There is a commotion that suddenly springs forth as you're kind of on watch. You don't really notice anything at first, but Clay happens to notice a small little mouse has entered into your camp, and you watch as it kind of begins to dig at the edges of one of the tents, trying to kind of go underneath it. And at that moment, out of nowhere, an owl slams into the side of Egil's tent, trying to grab onto the mouse, and both of them are now struggling as there's just this loud commotion.
Oh, cool.
You see the
What are we-
owl talons. It tries to grab onto the mouse, and it slices a hole open in Egil's tent. You see the mouse runs in. The owl is then. You see the owl dives into the tent with Egil.
Can I? Oh, I don't know what to do. Can I just try to catch the owl?
Okay. Go ahead and make me an animal handling check. As you try and you rush into Egil's tent. You
12.
the owl.
Fuck, why am I rolling like shit?
The owl flaps its wings and flies the other side of the tent, trying to snatch up the mouse once more. Fails again. You see its talons.
Wake.
Yeah, you're awake at this point. You're just like your eyes open. Probably the
This
first
owl
sound.
sucks.
Yeah, this
I
owl.
will-
Doesn't it know it's an ambush predator?
It tried to
I
ambush it.
will-
It just got real close to that tent.
I will just kind of instinctually throw one of my daggers.
Oh, okay.
I guess the thing that would really I guess it'd be the owl is the thing that would
Yeah. So roll an attack roll.
yeah. Cause I highly doubt I would notice the mouse first.
Yeah.
Oh
9
man,
misses. You throw a dagger. It slices a hole on the other side of your tent, which the mouse runs through. The owl flies through, catches the mouse, and flies out.
Did the rest
I
of us wake up from hearing this?
Oh yeah, you probably all woke up at the first hit of the owl on a tent. Like tents do not
I
block
kinda-
any sound.
how big is the hole?
Um, it's
Because
pretty
the owl
large.
went through it.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's
I
probably
poked my
I will say it's about the size of like the owl's head because it kind of like tucked in and like leapt through. Kind of got real small when it went through. So
I
I'd
kinda
say it's
poked my
maybe like a softball sized.
I kind of looked through a little bit. Well, this is a unfortunate series of events.
Whoo, whoo. You hear the
Hmm.
owl off in the distance, somewhere next to these rocky hills. Probably lapping up its meal. It's badly
It's
caught
the
meal.
worst owl I've ever seen.
You use mending?
I go fetch my dagger because it's one of my scalpels.
Yeah. It's either you use mending or Egil has a really cold night.
It's the perfect use for this cantrip.
Yeah.
This is an evil campaign. We're not nice.
Let each other get hypothermia.
Yeah. Egil, do you ask someone to fix your tent or you just suffer? Okay. And Bonnie will kind of come over and fixes your tent for you so you don't die of hypothermia.
You have many talents. Appreciate the effort.
Beautiful. What a wholesome moment.
Next time I gotta charge you. that's what I'm waiting for.
Um,
It's implied.
oh
It's
yeah.
implied.
So, it's what artificers do. I appreciated watching your little anatomy lesson, so this is for that.
Transactional. I can appreciate that as well.
Wonderful. With that, that ends second watch. A very calm watch. Atlas, you are the final. Perception check, please. $15. With the area you're in, it is, relatively quiet. There's a lack of trees that keeps things from swaying. There's more space to see out and around you. And while yes, there are pretty large hills, in a lot of areas around you, the view is beautiful, and you kind of sit and watch and wait. Nothing seems to come out to attack you. Nothing seems to stick out as a threat. And generally, there's something about dying and being in this form at this moment has slowed time for you. You don't need to eat, you don't need to sleep. So what do you do with these moments if there's no function to them? So with a lack of hunger, a lack of being tired, a soft feeling of being cold, but slightly warmed from the fire, you watch a sunrise. And you contemplate existence, life, and why are you here? A very existential morning for you, but a calm one. Um, yeah, you all wake up. So, who wants to lead you all to Cardinal?
I guess Asanov.
Yeah,
J-
I
She's
rolled the nat 20 on it before. I know of it. Maybe I know how to get there.
Okay. You begin to lead your group through the mountains. Do you want to go directly from the north of Cardinal, or do you want to keep going from the kind of eastern direction?
Is there a difference between coming from either direction?
There seems to be, from what you can gather, there's a lot of mountains, rocky hills and mountains, kind of on the western side, creating this sort of like downward slope, directly from the north south, also from the east west. So there seems to be like two main, almost ways through the mountains to reach this spot from your area right now.
So it's more mountainous from the north.
It's more mountainous on the western side and the northeastern side. So from direct north or direct east, there is, clear pathways, essentially.
Okay.
But from the northeast, there is rocky hills. You could go through them, or you could just go along the edges of those main ones.
And as far as we know, there's no difference between entering the city through the north and through the east. I mean, I guess
It's
we've never been here, so
yeah, it's hard to discern. You could
Will
cling
there
to
be a
the
time difference?
right now, not entirely. It's just dependent on which route you take. If you want to come from the north or from the east. Also, if you want to hug the mountains, or do you want to kind of go down in the lower lands, because it does like open up. Like you do see like there seems to be an old pathway, almost like an old unofficial roadway. Some would say. If you wanted to follow the
Where?
unofficial north or unofficial east.
well, I'm once again concerned about food, and I feel like there might be more food in the lowlands because they'll be a little bit warmer and more
Well,
habitable. Well, maybe
I will
not.
say you're about an hour away. Like you're not very far
Yeah.
from being able to just at least see the city.
The city doesn't have food in it, though.
You want
Oh,
to
well.
just flip it?
I mean,
We're
I've got
going
over a
north.
week's worth of food. Are you running like super low?
Yeah, I only have 2.
Oh, I can give you some of my rations.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I've been so like, can we eat it? It's because I'm starving a little bit.
oh, and don't forget that Atlas didn't take his ration, so
Yeah.
you could take his extra 2 that he had.
Yeah, and technically, I think I do have 10 rations for my explorers pack, so you can have 10 if you really want.
Just give me 12.
Yeah, you could have all that.
Would Asav have like brought this up for herself? Because there's could have been methods for this early on.
Yeah, I mean, probably. She's been eyeing everything with hunger.
Okay, but yeah, so yeah, go ahead, have some food. Don't die.
Yeah, I probably would slide you some food if I noticed you're a little more hungry.
I've been holding on to food and looking for food the way someone who has been living meal to meal does.
Understandable.
That's awesome. That's so funny.
Just like my god, I am hungry.
Gotta emulate to be the.
No, I just live in the woods and it's winter.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. North or south? I mean, north or east?
North. Let's just go down north. Now that
All
food
right.
isn't a pressing concern of mine.
All right. Yeah. Now that her tummy isn't grumbly.
Now that my next couple of meals have been secured.
Okay.
And as we're walking, I'm gonna ask Bonnie for advice on my arm, since she's the one who made it. Just like ways to keep the snow from building up in it, because it's a pain in the ass. Just, background chat while we're walking.
Okay. Said north, right?
Yeah, north.
From the north. So, you follow the depression, this unofficial roadway, and you note that it begins to get deeper and deeper. So deep that you begin to see cliff sides forming. And eventually the path slopes enough that you begin to see a distant sight. What looks to be a sunken valley surrounded by these rocky hills with large cliff sides that descend hundreds of feet into the earth, creating a fertile, you know, warmer valley that is able to avoid a lot of the elements from the snowfall to the storms to the rain. And you can see tall, towering walls, a massive castle, all of which have been ruined. The walls have been burned to crisps in many spots, and you see massive gaping holes in the castle itself as you begin to look on the corpse of a once great city. Do you wish to follow in the depression, or are you following at the top of the cliffside? One will take you directly towards the city walls. The other one will take you kind of around the cliffs that make up the valley the city dwells in.
Ask the question again.
Do you want to follow the depression towards the city gates? Or do you wish to take the cliffside route and follow where the cliffs meet the city?
We'll just go through the front door. Nothing bad could happen.
Yeah, we don't want to do any recon at all.
But it's like full of undead or something, right?
Yeah.
I say the walls.
Yeah, it's probably a smarter option.
We have been kind of throwing ourselves into a lot of situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's maybe be careful.
So, following along the cliffside, you begin to move through, spaces where there is forest. It is light. It seems that they the forests around the city, they did not entirely leave devoid, but these are fairly new trees, small and sparse. Seems like they used a lot of these trees initially and replaced them. And over the many years that the city has not been a thing, they've somewhat returned. But you eventually make your way towards the edge of the cityscape. High above it on the cliff sides, you see the city drops 400 feet below you into a beautiful expanse. However, about 200 feet up from the city structure is another set of cliffs that jut out from the main walls on the west to create this beautiful green expanse where a massive castle rests. You can see multiple snowpack rivers meet just at the edges of the city where they descend southwards, presumably towards Reedtown and the lake there, or maybe even reaching the massive river just outside of Crimson. But you can see beautiful fountains and strange gardens on the edges of this huge cityscape. You can see ruined artisan buildings. You can see cathedrals and towers and all sorts of ruined structures. You also see a massive undertaking, a what seems to be part bridge that extends and seems to be the main way up to this castle, extends out of the city for 2 miles, and underneath it, an aqueduct that spans the same length, feeding water directly into the castle structure. One thing of note also is off in the distance there are multiple small caverns that seem to shine brightly, almost like they're made of glass, all around the base of the castle and even the base of the cliffside structure outside of the city. This whole valley is pockmarked with massive caves. You can guess just from a local view of it and from your current perception, you count maybe at least 20 or so, maybe more. Some of them seem more hidden than others. Some of them are very, very prevalent. But yeah, you currently stand on the edges of Cliffside, looking over the city of Cardinal. I will show you to your map. So, Clay is your reference. That is where you all currently stand. You can see the massive bridge aqueduct off in the center that it seems to be the only way up to the castle itself. There looks to be maybe there's some crane elevators, maybe for freight and other construction materials, but that bridge is the main way to get to the castle, it seems. Other than that, it is a ruined city. There seems to have been a massive conflict here a long time ago. And yeah, here the city rests.
All right. And you said there are caverns.
Yeah, many caves seem to dot the landscape. You know, some of them are outside of the city right here. Some of them are in the city right here. Some of them are here. One's here. Some even seem to be below you. A lot of them seem to glint in the sunlight like glass, as if they are made of glass for some reason. It's a strange thing.
I think caves could be good because we just need this place to lay low for a while until the heat dies down, right?
That is the main reason that we came here.
Yeah. Or if we could go into the castle.
I feel like we'd be fighting a lot of baddies on the way there for not much gain.
But think about the squatters'
The
rights.
castle!
We don't need another large building that needs remodeled.
Yes.
We
Yes,
can't
we
do this every
do.
campaign.
Yeah, but looking,
Yes,
I will
we
say,
can.
looking over the edge, there is a cave directly below where all of your characters currently are.
quick.
Okay.
Someone cast Featherfall.
All right. So the only way, like, this is just going over the details. That this isn't making a decision for anything. So the only main way through the castle is this large aqueduct.
Seems so. It's
Uh,
a bridge over top and then aqueduct underneath.
Underneath. Okay.
Yep.
And it starts all the way on the east. Is there a way on that, like, from the city?
Nope.
No. Okay.
There seems to be
All
like
right.
elements of like cranes and stuff that you could possibly take up to the castle itself. You also do spot what looks to be a glint of light through some trees and forests up at the top of the castle that makes you think that there's probably another one of these strange glassy caves up near the castle. So that also could be a feature to access it. But you would have to go through the caves. It's a strange
We could do
cityscape.
some spelunking.
Let's go into the caves, and if we come out on the castle side, then we know that we deserve to live here, and God has given it to us.
Hadar has given it to us.
Yes.
Hey. What is this area over here?
That's farmland right here.
Farmland.
Seems
Okay.
like the valley is was once very fertile, and there's just massive farms that stretch about a little over half a mile in each direction. These two
Desert?
sets of 3 are about a mile in each direction.
All right.
The bridge is about 2 miles. It's like for a medieval city, it's pretty big. It's not the
Yeah.
biggest city you've ever seen. Oh,
Huge!
yeah, it's pretty
For a
big.
medieval city?
The castle
Yeah,
itself
no,
is
it's very
massive.
big.
It's about a mile by a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mile by a mile and a half, I guess.
Well, I don't know.
Does there seem to have been any
Yeah.
activity within the city recently? Like, people may have came here at all?
Make a perception check. $25. You begin to look out over the valley, and over in this direction, near one of the cathedrals, you swear you spot torchlights.
Okay.
And then you see individuals, small dots of individuals, about a mile away from your position, walking out of that space.
I point that out. It seems we are not the only ones who have chosen to make refuge here. I point out to the cathedral.
Hmm.
Well, we probably should not go say hi.
Yes, mainly because we do not know their allegiances.
But we can go into the caves.
Yes, we did come here mainly just to avoid the ire of the City of Glass for now. I had to think about who it was.
Glass. The Empire.
The
of
Empire.
Glass.
The Empire, yeah.
The city.
Yeah, City of Glass, yeah, Empire of Glass. No, the reason why the City of Glass is actually from a D&D campaign that I watched on YouTube, so that's why my brain always,
Unfortunate.
yes, so, yes, the Empire of Glass.
It's just so funny to think of someone in this world referring to it as the City of Glass. Just the entire.
That's what you
That's
say
just
if
the
you're trying
city,
to
right?
insult them.
Exactly. Minimalizing them. They're not that great.
They're just a city.
They're
I think we
just a city.
should hole up in the caves, and maybe if we get bored, we can wander deeper into them and get
Kill
killed
the
by a
people in the
flash flood.
cathedral.
We'll.
Maybe go on a bit of a Hadar-inspired raid.
Hey, maybe you
About
could.
that.
Maybe
I don't know
you
about
can.
that.
Maybe you get some followers.
I think I'm
Hey,
okay, actually.
I would love to get some followers. Do you want to kill yourself for Hadar, guys?
Oh,
You can
what
get
did I
some.
return to?
I could get some cadavers. You could get some followers. Hey, this could be a good
Yeah.
thing.
Don't you want to know where you'll end up in the afterlife? We just met some ghosts. It's real bad shit. Wouldn't you rather be met with the sweet
No.
taste of oblivion?
Okay then.
But we have decided that we are going into the cavern beneath us.
Okay, so how are you getting down?
How steep? How down is it?
It's about 400 feet.
400.
What if we go around?
Just aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes. Does there seem to be any paths that lead to it, or is it just kind of down?
There seems to be like almost like a back alleyway, like not even an alleyway. It just seems to be a road that seems to follow the edges of the cliffside the entire way throughout the city. So you would have to be in the city to access it. It's actually this one is slightly up. So there is a small like almost rocky ramp that has been carved. It seems like this cliff cave is probably about 40 or so feet higher from the actual cityscape. Gives a little like view over the city a bit. But still, you would
Okay.
have to be in the city to easily
Get
access
to it.
Yeah.
Get to it effectively.
You could
How
try and
far down from us directly is the nearest path?
How much rope were in those 4 explorers packs?
60 foot.
50, or it's 50 foot each.
50 foot. Oh, okay. There's one or the
200
other. Yeah.
there, then I'm sure I have a rope of mending, which I believe is 50 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 250. We just need 3 more. Does anyone else have rope?
I should. Let me.
I
Yeah,
have a
I-
rope.
Yeah, I think I have rope
do.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could scale down the cliffside.
We
It is
have
it is an
rope.
easy it would be an easy scale. It's a sheer cliff.
How will we get our rope back?
Put rope of mending up
I'll-
top. Or someone can fly. I forgot we have someone who can fly.
Yeah, I'll hesitantly offer to get the rope.
Can Clay fly
Or
too?
I'll say I'll be the last one down.
Oh yeah, Clay can fly.
Hey,
Clay doesn't
Clay-
have hands.
Clay doesn't really need hands. Clay just needs to be able to like.
Clay has a trunk.
Yeah.
How prehensile is his trunk?
If it's as prehensile as an elephant's.
Because I mean,
We're
if he's
good.
willing to grab
Very.
it, great. I don't. Ripley does not want to do it. He just knows he
Grippy
can.
nubs.
Little grippy nubs.
Put the grippy
Grippy
nubs away.
nubs.
Put those grippers away.
Kind of sounds like a band.
Clay
Grippy
refuses
nubs?
to put his grippy nubs away.
Imagine being opened by the band Grippy Nubs.
Humiliating.
Yeah, that's my favorite metal band.
But they shred though.
Oh, I
Yeah.
bet they would. shred.
Yeah.
I would totally go.
It would suck because you'd be opened by the band Grippy Nubs, and then everyone would be so excited and hyped about what Grippy Nubs has just done.
And now you gotta follow up.
Yeah, you can't follow up Grippy Nubs.
Grippy nubs. You can't. Oh man. Okay.
We're so good at focusing on D&D.
I need
Alright.
a T-shirt that's the metal band font that you can't fucking read because it's impossible, and it says Grippy Nubs.
There's too much going on.
Okay.
And it's
So-
like
All right, tying all the ropes together.
Yeah,
Yes,
tie-
we're tying ropes.
Tie the ropes together. You all then begin to descend down the cliffside. Just roll me athletics checks.
Oh,
Oh
boy.
no.
Oh boy.
Woohoo!
Roll, actually, for you know what, acrobatics for Egil, because I know you're acrobatic. Ooh.
Oh my.
Fuck.
And
Um,
as oh no.
okay. Okay.
Oh my gosh, guys.
So you
Oh, actually,
are
I'm gonna use my knowledge from past life ability at a
Um,
D6 to my athletics.
you.
I will
you better.
say, I did. Ripley is going to not have his cloak on because he does not have faith that he himself doesn't think he's going to be able to get down this and will probably have to catch himself.
Okay.
So he is not wearing his cloak for ease of access if he does have to use his shitty ass wings.
Yeah. So, Egil, what's the order of operations here? Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Ripley. The climb is long. It is a 300-foot drop on a sheer cliff. You do have the ability, since it's very sheer, to use your feet to kind of purchase yourself and allow you to not have all of the weight on your hands alone. But it is a long rope that you go down, and there's points when you slip and you slide, and you do hurt your hands. You have a -2 to any melee attack rolls or weapon attack rolls that use your
I already
hands.
have -2.
Now you have
Oh
-4.
my.
Incredible.
As your hands are burning, you have rope burns on all of your hands.
Fantastic.
Atlas, you are just able to avoid that. You feel like the edges of your fingers are slightly heated, and it's not a fun feeling because you did slip and fall a little bit under your own weight, but you're able to kind of do okay. Egil, you're perfectly fine. It's Bonnie and Asanoth. Which one of you wants to go first? Bonnie goes first. Bonnie, you begin to slide down this, and about 3/4 of the way down, you accidentally lose your grip, and you begin to go into freefall. Your hands are still on the rope as you are just essentially burning the shit out of your hands. What do you do? Yes, it is very painful.
I think
Did-
she said she has Featherfall, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't tell if my Roll20 has crashed. Oh, my Roll20 did crash. Cool.
Oh
I mean, you're
No.
like
Okay,
100
there we
feet
go.
up.
Can I jump?
Oh no.
You can aim for the bushes.
It's only 10d6 fall damage.
Yeah, you'll be fine, right?
Yeah, you'll survive. Your allies have healing magic.
One of them will be falling after you.
Yep.
So.
You cast Featherfall. What do you do? You're falling. You can. I will give you options. You can either try to cling to the rope, which will be an athletics check, or you just take the fall, or use one of your abilities. It's up to you. You will feather fall? Okay. Yeah, you cast feather fall and begin to slowly descend as Asanath, you also fail, and your hands slip from the rope, and you try to catch onto it, only to burn your hands and fall.
Yeah.
Seeing Asanath fall, Ripley will sigh and try to catch her.
For
Okay.
Asana's part, she is trying to grip onto the rope despite the pain. um,
Okay.
she can't do anything else.
Oh.
So,
So what-
Ripley, you are trying to get Asanath?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and... Let me see here. Go ahead and just try to roll me a either acrobatics or athletics check to try and
Definitely
Gingerly-
not athletics.
trying to gingerly catch Asanath as they fall.
Alrighty.
Wow.
It's not terrible.
Not bad. You are able to slip underneath Asanath and catch. However, they are what's your strength?
7?
Okay. You're able to slow their descent, but essentially you went from Asanath going to take crit damage when they fall to both of you are just going to hit the ground together.
Yeah, I imagine it's like it's a very jagged descent because
Yeah.
he tries to flap his wings. He just doesn't do this often enough and doesn't have the strength to maintain this. So it's more like they plummet for like 30 feet. He does a flap to slow them down. They plummet again. He does a flap. Like he's
Oh,
mostly
okay,
trying
so-
to minimize how much damage they're
Yes,
taking. 'Cause
and
he
that
knows
is
he cannot
exactly-
support both of their
yeah.
weight. He can barely support his own
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah, you do minimize the fall damage. So I am going to be nice and say that you only fall probably. I'm gonna give you a fall of 200 feet instead of the full 400, essentially. So that's 20d10,
Woohoo.
but because you're
I'm
being
gonna
caught,
die.
I thought it was
it's
D6s.
sorry, d6s. Yeah, I forgot. I literally was grabbing d6s. I think I might have moved a d10 over. That's why I said it. So it's 20d6. Halved to 10.
This could still fully kill me.
I won't let it.
We will
No, I
see.
could full die.
No. It'll be fine.
You got Revivify with those 3rd level spell slots we don't have yet?
I'm sure I will figure something out.
Oh my gosh. This went so bad, so fucking fast.
And the thing is, as they're drifting down, Ripley does not say anything. He does think about just dropping her, because one less follower of Hadar doesn't sound bad to him.
No.
He honestly is very much considering just letting her fall. But then again, she's been very helpful. She's been very useful. And he's a very He's super selfish and knows that if he keeps her alive, she'll keep him alive.
My entire MO so far has just
Okay.
been following you around and doing
So-
what you're doing.
Exactly. It's such a selfish thing that he is doing because he doesn't care about her. He cares about himself after this.
All
He's
right.
not doing
Whatever
this as a
works.
good deed.
I don't care. I'm still gonna live.
Exactly. It's like it doesn't make any difference to you, so you know.
Yeah.
Oh, you have over 30?
Me? No, I have 28 though.
Got
Oh.
27.
It's highly unlikely
So-
that you die.
Exactly.
What's all of your max HP?
27.
28.
Okay. So, it is 28 points of bludgeoning damage.
Great.
Ooh.
So-
Unconscious immediately.
You all watch as two of your party members are falling from the sky, barely able to stay stabilized. At the very end, Ripley do one last bat of your wings, and you just feel them all tense up. Your wings fall behind you, and both of you crash into the ground. You all hear this heavy as two of your party members hit the ground. So, because of the
Definitely break all my fucking bones.
These Hadar followers are fucking awful.
We suck!
We suck so bad.
We've both been rolling terribly.
I know.
And we suck at everything. It's great.
We've been cursed.
Can I have both of you roll me 2d10s real fast?
Is this how many of our 286 bones we break?
Maybe.
Break
7.
bones.
10. I haven't felt this bad since my house fell on top of me.
Are you the Wicked Witch of the West?
So, Asanath, you come out of this with a minor scar. Essentially,
Another one.
you when you collapse into the ground, your face just scrapes the concrete, abrasing your nose. Healing magic will heal this and will remove the scar. It is not a permanent feature.
What side of my face? The burned side or the
The
non-burned
the
side?
middle of your face. It is your forehead, nose to your chin.
You know.
Just right down the center.
Yeah, you bounce your
Yeah.
skull over the ground, bounce it again, and bounce again.
Oh my fucking
It will
gosh. this
it will
can't be.
mostly heal through healing magic. It will be visible for like a couple days that this occurred.
What's yet another scar?
I need roll me a d4 for Ripley, please.
Fuck is this campaign, yo?
4.
It's a campaign of failures.
Okay.
And
Ripley,
I love it.
you
Being bad
suffer
at
a
things is
broken bone.
wonderful. Which bone?
Particularly when you crash into the ground, one of your you basically landed on one of your feet and you have fractured your foot.
Fantastic.
So with that, let me get all this. While your foot is fractured, your movement is reduced by 5 feet. You can only dash once a day. And it will take significant time to heal this. Particularly probably around 10 days with minor activity.
Okay.
It could be worse. But you did break your foot. As that happens, there is a you know, a noise that kind of breaks the silence in the space. As you
I'm fully
see,
unconscious, by the way.
I know. As the rest of you look up at the cave and see, like, walking out of it, a humanoid creature with calloused skin that is so emboldened and engrossed across their body that they are completely hairless. Their fingers have turned to claws. Their mouth and eyes and nose have been covered by excess skin growth. And they carry a heavy axe, wearing full, uh, looks like plaided armor. Um, you see they kind of peer around the space, looking over the rest of you who have not collapsed into unconsciousness. And then there's a sound of almost like the air sizzling, and you see appearing directly over top Ripley and Asanath. You can see a human man with jet black hair, kind of shaved on the sides, that it's kind of slicked back. You can see one of his eyes is gray, the other side of his face is completely purple, as you can see his bones and the innards and behind him, as he is a entity that is not entirely human. He has been shaped and changed by the magical storms that control much, or at least controlled much of the Empire of Glass. This is one of the disembodied. You all better be more careful next time. You're going to lead the paladins right to us. You see he bends down, whispers a word, and taps on Ripley's head. And you watch as Ripley is currently no longer dying, turns to Asanath, taps on her forehead as well, and you watch as both of them have been stabilized.
Well, I suppose we have to call this good fortune.
Halt it! Get them into the cave, now. The rest of you better join me, unless you wish for the paladins to find you. Come. You see the hulking, strange figure walks down the pathway, grabs onto both of them, and begins to make his way into the cave. I'm glad I was here as well. You see he kind of takes up the rear, watches as you all begin to enter into the cave, looks out over the cityscape as you all ascend, snaps his fingers, and vanishes.
I go into the cave, I guess.
Okay. You all enter into the cave. You see it is that reflection that you saw. It is fairly dark, as dark as a cave should be. That reflection that you saw, that shine, is because the cave walls are glass. It seems that the cave has been burned. You can see molten scars have turned what looks to be what could have been a natural cave formation into a tube of molten magma. It appears that vast rivers of lava flowed through this tube not very long ago. It is perfectly cylindrical, and every inch of it has been turned to glass and sharpened basalt rock. Even though parts of it have fallen away and chipped, that makes you realize this is just the outer shell of the cave. It has been scorched by some devastating event that has hit this space. As you all are entering into the cave, darkness begins to hit all of you. And the first of you in line notices you reach a point, maybe about 30 feet into the cave, where there is a momentary lack of sound. You stop hearing sound from behind you, your allies speaking and talking and moving. And then they pass through a specific point, and then suddenly you can hear them again. It's as if silence falls on one spot in the cave. Relatively, it's not like true glass, it's more like glassy like rock, so it is slightly reflective. It specifically with light, sharp light, it just reflects light back at you, so you're not going to get a clear image of yourself or anything like that.
Is this rock that's been in contact with molten heat?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You hear this slight popping sound as you see this disembodied individual reappears within the cave, kind of dusts himself off slightly. You can put them down. I can't do much to heal them at the moment. My healing is elsewhere. I hope you have the ability. You see he opens a small little spell book and flips through.
Well, my skills are in the medical.
Well, I'm sure we'll wake up in an hour. We just have to hope some of the undead do not make their way this far upward. Hotet can do a bit, but he is my only bodyguard left.
And I'm sorry, your name is?
Oh, you can call me Colte. I am a archaeologist.
KULTEI?
Kulte.
Damn it, no I. I asked, I was so close.
Colte Zolech is what you can call me. I will paste the name for you if I can ever copy the name. It might be missing the H at the end of his last name. There we go. Yeah. And this is his companion, his hulking bodyguard, Hotet.
Oh, I can't put the little thingies under top of my A.
If you
Actually, I
copy
can.
paste
That
it,
cop-
it'll.
Yeah, but I say yes, copy yours. Okay, cool. Do do.
You are very lucky that I found you. Oh, you're very lucky that I was able to hear the noise.
Ripley and Asanoth.
Yeah, Ripley and Asanoth. And they don't know the effects of their damage yet.
You said this one guy's disembodied. What's Hatet?
Hotet is. I think it's best if I show you.
He said he's like callous skin.
Yeah. Do I have it in roll? I think I have it in roll 20. Hold up. Did I not? I did not get him in roll 20 yet, apparently.
I mean, you can also just let us wake up naturally. We'll wake up in a bit.
Yeah,
You
they'll
don't have
wake
to
up in
heal
an
us.
hour.
Just let us take a little nappy nap. Give our bodies time to numb the pain that we're under. Because if we wake up now, we're gonna scream.
That is Hotet.
Ooh.
Yep, he is a hulking humanoid that is covered in mutated, like a hairless callus. His hide is so thick that its folds have compressed the brute's eyes and mouth to such a degree that it can no longer see or speak. The skin pulses with veins and shifts unnaturally, showing evidence of continued mutation.
He needs to
he-
see a dermatologist.
He looks like a chapped brute. Yeah, and he does not speak. He's just like kind of very loyal. He takes the orders of this Colte very seriously.
And you said these caves are like perfect cylinders, and they have lava running through them as well.
They're perfect cylinders, but they had magma flowing through them. But through
Had them, okay.
yeah, it seems like it was a very recent event, and you can see when there's spaces that almost as if like parts of the cave have been chipped away, and underneath that molten rock is just regular stone. That this was a natural circular cave that looks like a lava tube, but wasn't, but have been malformed by some great magma event fairly recently. Like these are probably just natural, maybe not natural, but these are many and numerous very round caves. You see, Colte kind of looks to his book. Oh, wait, actually, I might have something. He kind of turns. There it is. You see, opens up a small little jar, takes out 2 little beads. I'm not going to be sticking my fingers in your allies' mouths. 1 each. Make sure they chew it.
I take them. And are they healed or no?
Do you put 1 in each mouth and make them chew it?
Oh no, I was saying so did Bonnie heal them or no? I just wanted to see where we was at with that.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I don't think
then yeah.
you've healed them at all.
Okay, then yeah, I'll put the first one in Osnoth's mouth and kind of move her jaw to chew it, help her chew it.
Yeah. Asnath, you wake up with 1 hit point, and you feel terrible. Your face is bleeding. You feel like your nose could be broken.
And then I'll do the same thing for Ripley.
Yep. Well then.
Ah, fuck.
I'm gonna reach out.
Holding
and
my broken
cast,
foot.
Hmm.
You
see-
I'm gonna.
Colte
Sorry.
is, you see he like writes things down in his book as you both are waking up, seemingly cataloging something. Interesting.
Can I?
And I will then start to make a splint for
Yep.
Ripley's foot.
Great, thank you.
This is
I
going
think
to
I already
hurt.
have a walking stick.
And I kind of put the bones back in place really quickly.
Ah!
Little one,
Can I cast?
where did you study?
Your mom's house.
Okay.
Oh no, that was
Completely out of character.
okay. What do you say? I study at a monastery.
Hmm. I figured. Definitely more learned.
Well, I do what I can for Ripley's Foot because I'm sure I don't have everything I need exactly.
Now,
Just
you
enough.
can you can
And
create a
once
split
the
enough to like begin the process of healing. It will
Yeah.
still take many days.
yeah,
Just
I'll
to go
also
away.
cast Healing Word on myself just so I'm not at 1 hit point. So I just look at my staff for a few seconds and go a bit glassy eyed, and then I heal a bit.
May
I
cast
will.
Cure Wounds on myself.
I will check on it periodically to make sure it's healing properly.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah, with healing
Perfect.
magic, Asanat, you healed yourself?
I would like to, yes. I would also like to feel my nose and see if it's broken.
Slightly. Yeah, it's broken.
Can I set it?
Yeah, you can.
I'll just do that real
Yeah, you
quick.
set it, you heal yourself. It takes away a little bit of the scarring, and the scarring will heal, but you will have like a slight remnant, that you broke your nose. And
I,
I mean,
I
I
offer to
gotta
help.
be-
I offer to help set your nose back because I have experience of broken noses.
I think she just kind of does it before she thinks about asking for help.
Fair enough.
And I also don't. I think like the least of her concerns is having a scar.
mhm.
It's too
Yeah.
late for her to have an unmarred appearance.
And I
Do we
will
know how
also
much longer?
say there's a lot of like blood in your jaw right now. Like you have,
And your nose too.
yeah, you have a busted nose, busted lip, busted chin. Like there's
She's not
just
a-
blood all over your face.
I
She's
mean, to be
not gonna
fair, for her,
bit.
it's not really that bad compared to what she's been through. So
No, it is not. I go somewhere and I spit and I keep quiet. I don't
Yeah.
complain.
but guys, I need to hop off. I got to.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
fair.
So we will end the session here today. You all have found safety in a strange cave that is quiet and silent to the outside world, with a strange, disembodied individual who is partly here and partly not. And we will pick up next week.
Ooh,
You've met Colte.
this campaign is so.
You know what? I was thinking about it, and it's truly the villain's journey.
I love
Yes.
being bad at stuff.
Like, villains
It's
are
honestly
always...
so fun to fail all the time.
It really
I
is.
do enjoy it.
I feel like villains are usually like so pathetic at the start of their journeys that you
Yeah,
always look at
I
them and
like
you're like,
that
this
my
guy?
I like that my pathetic guy just keeps failing all the time. It's what he deserves. He's a bad person.
This guy ends the world.
This is such a joy. I don't know how else to describe it.
It's fantastic.
I was the second you guys fell, I was like, wow, this is how the death happens, huh?
As soon
was
as we said
close.
we're gonna scale down the cliff, I knew that I was probably gonna have to try and fail to catch somebody because I cannot hold
Yeah.
anybody.
So the thing is, that was
I can barely
20
hold myself.
28 points of bludgeoning damage was half the damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it was full damage, we would have been
We
fully
would've
dead.
died.
Yeah,
Rolling
Yeah,
new
you would've-
character.
I know.
It's great.
That's why I was like, oh, you're going that route. Okay.
Listen,
It's really fun to play
fine.
Asuna because she's not afraid of death. She thinks she'll just be consumed by Hadar, and she's fine with that.
She's accepted what happens afterwards.
I also
so.
I like to imagine like with
Yeah.
your broken nose, like you like felt that it was broken and immediately just said it. Like I imagine
Yeah,
Asanath
probably.
is just like not caring, really.
No.
Yeah, on top but not caring. She's just like, oh, pain. All right, let's
Yeah.
go.
I mean, it's like there's a very visual tapestry of the amount of physical pain that this elf
Has been through. Yeah.
A fall like this is not insignificant, but it's not worth making a fuss.
It's like one of those moments. It's like not to be like inconsiderate, but like look at her face. She's okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the whole like, oh, Asnoth gets away with this with a scar. It's like, oh no.
Oh wow, another
Yeah,
one.
I mean, at least Ripley only broke a limb. He didn't lose another one, so.
No,
Exactly.
I was like, don't tell me that you broke the prosthetic.
If you broke his prosthetic arm, he'd be fucking pissed. He paid
No.
he paid all of his money for that.
I mean,
He
if
has
you
one silver piece to his
I-
name because the rest he spent on his arm.
I rolled on a table, and if you had broken an arm, yeah, you probably could have broken your manufactured arm,
Prosthetic.
or you could have broken your real
Rather
arm.
break the organic arm.
Yeah, that one.
Easier to fix. I mean, I guess I could very nicely ask Bonnie to fix my prosthetic.
Asnoth
That would
would
take a
offer to
long
pay,
time.
but she has no money.
Yeah. I also have no money.
But yeah,
Oh,
Sorry.
good times.
I'm a random